Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy and I wanted to update you with my progress as an author by using BookBaby. I felt that based on my experience with being a new author and now that I have a published book, that I should reflect on what I would do differently and or changes that I would make so that way I can help other authors do the same thing. I would definitely use BookBaby in future projects. I felt like each interaction was positive. My intuition kept me honest. I didn't feel like I was being taken advantage of, even with me looking at other opportunities to self-publish. I'm glad that I went with BookBaby. When I look at the names that are associated with BookBaby through their distribution, such as Walmart, Barnes& and Noble, and Amazon, I was sold. Why would I not want to go with a company that has a strategic alliance with these types of companies that have mass distribution, right? High level overview of the process. So I went online to their website after doing a Google search and looked at the different options. I went with the package, which I strongly recommend that you go with an all-inclusive package, because by the time that you go back and add things after your project is complete, it's just going to end up costing the same amount. For example, the extra books that I ended up having to purchase. So I went online, did a quote, did a package. After I did the quote, then someone called me, shout out to Ramona, very personable, was like intake service. I wish that Ramona stayed with me throughout the entire process, but I get it, she has to help other customers. After she did an intake process, we got the project going and everything was done through email and approving and or rejecting proofs. So in that quote process and throughout talking to Ramona and as the book production progressed, I did things like setting my price and ensuring that I got the right royalties, approving the design of the book cover, approving the formatting, approving the metadata, etc., etc. You will go through approving and rejecting based on what you want as a part of your project. I strongly recommend that you have editing and that you do the distribution and that you also have marketing. I did everything from printed books, ebooks, metadata optimization, bookmarks. They did my cover, which is beautiful. And I would definitely have had them do the editing services now that I know what I know. I went through, someone referred me to an editor, which I'm thankful that I supported a small business. I didn't catch a few of the mistakes that were there, and by the time that I had BookBaby fix the mistakes that I'd caught, it cost the same amount as me going through BookBaby to begin with. Marketing, you got to get your book out there, so make sure that you have enough money in your budget to include marketing. Speaking of getting your book out there, I ordered extra copies. I only did 31 copies initially when I did my quote, but when I consider that I want to do giveaways, when I consider that I want to bless people with a copy, when I run into random people who are open to receiving my book, I want to be able to give them copies. 31 copies was just not enough, especially considering that I gave a lot of copies to friends and family, which, be mindful of who you give your books to. You really want it to be somebody who is going to read it and give you feedback and not take it for granted, so that way you can use that information for your next projects. So the other thing that I would say is make sure that you order enough copies for you to do the giveaways, for you to sell on your own, for you to give to people. I probably would have done more books than I did end up doing more books than I originally did. I think that's everything. Oh, dedicate time to approving and rejecting your proofs. So, for example, every week, say on Monday, I'm going to log into my account and see if there's anything that I need to do on my end to keep the project rolling. I was doing too much at one time and my project took longer than it needed to because of me. Had I not done that, had I not had so much that I was balancing, I probably would have had the project done in far shorter time than I did, which was 3 months, which is still good. But yeah, I probably would have been done a lot faster. I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about in this update. Double check my notes just to make sure. The budget, talked about budgeting, making sure that marketing is there because it's so important. Distribution, getting your distribution out there. I believe that is it. Oh, you can generate coupons. So if you're not sure about pricing, you can always have a higher price and give a coupon to discount it down lower, which is something that I wish that I would have done. And then also, you can set the amount of royalties that you want sent to you. So for example, I said every X amount of dollars, send me a check. You can do it for whatever amount you want. You can see everything from where books were purchased, the channel that they were purchased through, how much you're going to be getting, and they really make it easy for you. They really do. They really, really do. I think that's everything. I just wanted to make sure that if I was somebody who had never done this process before, that I had everything that I needed to make an informed decision. Yeah. If I had to give advice to new authors, start with the end in mind. What do you want your readers to walk away with? Do an outline. Review that outline a few times and then go through and fill out that outline. And then reread it and make sure that, again, you're doing it with the reader in mind. Something that I would recommend, or a best practice that I would share. I think that's going to be everything. Hope that this video helps you with knowing that BookBaby is a great source for you to do self-publishing. It's an easy process as long as you dedicate time to it and make sure that you budget accordingly, so that way you aren't wishing that you had done things before. It's an investment. It's your baby, so protect it and run with it. I'm wishing you the best of luck and happy book sales. Have a great day.